Hello and welcome to Homes for Lambeth's YouTube channel. My name is Claire and we are going to begin today standing. Know that in terms of props, you will very probably need one yoga block if you have it. If not, you can create that kind of shape with potentially a couple of paperback books or a Tupperware box or anything at all that raises the floor to meet you. So let's begin standing onto your mat. So bring your feet in a hip distance apart. Spread out through your toes as much as you can, really flare out. And then just come to get a sense of whether or not you have a tendency to pitch forwards or backwards. And then find something that feels relatively in the middle, relatively centered. And then roll your shoulders back, lengthen your tailbone down between your legs as you reach up and lengthen through your neck and through your skull. And particularly drawing your chin, which wants to lead forwards, drawing your chin back, lengthen through the back of the neck. And then come to close down your eyes. Let's together take a full breath in. And exhale, let it out of the mouth on a and take that breath through the mouth a couple of times, just releasing your day or your morning and letting any frustration or tension or anxiety or anything at all, even happiness, if you've had a great morning, still get a sense of letting that go through the mouth. And so what you're left with is neither a sense of anxiety, neither a sense of happiness, just this very almost middle of the road, calm, quiet state. So you're neither ruffled in a positive way or a negative way. There's just a feeling of absolute being in the middle, I suppose. Yeah, you're not swayed either way by emotion. You are just holding on to just a sense of equilibrium. And it's from that state of equilibrium, of not being pulled in either direction, any direction, that you get to rest, to reside in this perfectly calm state. And starting to tune your awareness into your inhale and exhale through the nose now. And notice perhaps how odd it can feel just to stand doing nothing with eyes closed. It's not anything we would do at any other point in our day. And so just embracing if it feels a little strange. And yet there's something empowering about it to stand tall in your own physical shape, in a posture that creates energy, that encourages energy to travel from the feet to the spine, through the spine, I should say, from the feet through the spine up to the crown of the head. And so rather than this habitual rounding or slumping that we do, you are standing in your full physical, well-aligned being. taking time to become aware of your physical, well structured being. Noticing perhaps a very gentle, almost rhythmic swaying or pulsing forwards and back. And that's okay. Your body might not be, 100% still. It is a living, breathing, moving, pulsating being. And you're just taking your time here to notice your body and to just settle and calm the breath and to deepen the breath. And take just a few more full inhales and exhales here. Maybe noticing as your body pitches and sways, what parts of the body then contract to support you? Do kneecaps clench, ankles? So just being fully aware of what's going on in the stillness. So much going on, even just in stillness. And then together, let's take a full breath in. Gently sigh out and softly blink your eyes open. Let's start to gently warm up the body in standing. So bring the feet completely together and really zip up through your legs so you almost form one leg. And let's take some side stretches. To support yourself in a side stretch, get the idea of pulling your deepest abdominal muscles in and up. So they form a little bit of support here. Take a deep breath in, one arm lifts. And exhale, take a side bend. So side bend over to the right. As you go to the right, push your hips over to the left. Lift up and try not to collapse into the arm. It's a real energized arm. And by energizing the arm, that will increase the stretch all the way down this left side. So as we move, we want everything to be as energized as possible to maximize both the muscle strength and flexibility. And so in this position, really have to grip those legs together just to give you a sense of stability in your lower body as you take the weight over to your right. And then gently come back to center and feel that the second side. So take a deep breath in, lift up through that right arm, pull your belly in. There goes your core support. Squeeze your inner thighs, your inner ankles together, and take your side bend over to the second side. Keep clenching, keep engaging. And if you have delicate a delicate back, then really accentuate this lengthening of your tailbone down. It's the slightest tuck of your tailbone underneath you, just to make sure you're not collapsing into the back. And then come back to center. Let's make that a little more fluid now. Inhale, left arm lifts. Exhale, take a side bend over to the right. Inhaling to center and exhale, release the arm. Other side. Inhale, right arm lifts. Exhale, side bend left. Inhale to center. Exhale, release. Good. This time, little change. Inhale, left arm lifts. And then take your left foot and take it off to the side behind your right. And take the side stretch here. And pause. So you're on the ball of the back foot now. Heel is lifted. And release. Let's take that second side. Inhale, right arm lifts. Take the side bend. Take your right foot behind the left. So a really nice opening through your oblique muscles, and also this lateral flexion, this side bending of your spine. So incredibly important to keep your spine flexible and healthy. Take a couple of shoulder rolls, ease it out. You can start to move your feet a little wider now. Keep the toes spreading, keep that connection of feet down into the floor. And then let's take a couple of neck rolls. So gentle sweep to the left and to the right, and try and keep the rest of your body nice and still so that all that you're isolating here is the neck. Everything else is stable. And should feel nice just to release the neck. You might notice some of the vertebra might pop or click, and all of that is fine. And we would want those vertebra to pop and click and find space and release. So as long as nothing is causing you pain. Let's go a couple more times. One more. Two, bring your head back onto the neck. Keep feet hip distance apart, bring a soft bend into your knees and bring your hands onto your thighs. Let's move into some cat-cow here. So take an inhale, lift your tail to the sky, bring your chest forward through your arms, roll your shoulders back as much as you can, and gaze lifts forward. And you'll see, hopefully, from my body, just creating this lumbar arch. Take a deep breath in, and then tuck your tail underneath you. You flatten out that curve. You round now into your thoracic spine and chin to the chest. Let's start to do that a little bit more fluidly. Inhale, tail lifts, chest lifts. Exhale, tuck and round. Again, inhaling, so make this movement come from your spine. Exhale. Legs, of course, are also getting a little bit of a warm up because your legs are in a squat and they're still in a squat. Let's take a couple more. Inhale, open. Exhale. Final one. Inhale. To exhale. This time, take that inhale and then release and fold into your first forward fold. Like any big stretch, go really easy. So your muscles are not yet warm. So take your time, let the body have the time to adapt and ease into some of these really big openers. So finding a little bit of movement always helps. Sway or pedal through the feet. You can even unplug each heel from the floor. Is another really nice way of just softening into this pose. When you feel that the body is ready for stillness, then of course you can come into stillness. Otherwise, take another few moments finding your own movement patterns, whatever feels good for you. So rocking forward and backwards feels really nice. And then when you're ready, let's just drop and hang heavy, just bringing that softness into the back of the knees. You'll note that I'm not locking my knees back. It's just a little bit of softness going on here. Engage through your thighs, so lift your kneecaps up. You'll feel the thighs engage. Hanging heavy. Doesn't matter if you're touching the floor or whether or not you're up here. All is good. Take another inhale and exhale. And then let's slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. Keep scooping your belly to support you. When you get to the top, just make sure the shoulders come with you. So rolling those shoulders onto your back. And let's start to heat up the body. So bring your feet into either hip distance apart, or if you prefer feet together, then you can. Stand tall and take a deep breath in. And an exhale, let it go. Let's bend the knees, brush the floor, come into Utkatasana, chair pose. Press your inner thighs together, reach your arms forward. If you're a little tighter of shoulder today, bring your hands into the heart center. And then notice how my body wants to create that arch into the spine. If you can, try and take that out. So a little lift through the ribs and a tuck of the tailbone. And start to breathe perhaps a a little more strongly here to fuel up the fire that is going on into the thighs. Take a deep breath in and out. One more. Thighs should be working. Inhale. And then exhale. Release that burn from the legs. Let it go. Forward folds. Bring your hands to your shins, your shoulders onto your back, and lift halfway. Take an inhale. And on your exhale, step your right foot back. Press strongly through the feet. Press strongly through that left leg, particularly your front leg, to rise up into high crescent. Energetic lift from armpits to fingertips. Nice deep breath in. Pushing into the back foot. Exhale. Spine is tall and completely in between those legs. So we're not pitching forwards here. Lift up through your spine. If you need to put a soft bend in your knees to enable you to do that, that's okay. From here, start to hinge forwards now to pitch your weight forward. Bring your back foot a little closer and then cross your right thigh over your left, coming into Garudasana, eagle legs. So straight into a balance, just for a moment, just to keep heating up through the legs. Take one more inhale and exhale, and then stand tall with your right knee into the chest. Take a moment to fully lengthen, left foot plugs down, fingertips lift. Take a hold of your right foot with your right hand. And stay potentially here into this quad stretch with knees coming together rather than apart. And this could be where you stay, working the strength and the stability of this standing leg. Otherwise, if you wish to bring this into dancer, then you can start to hinge forwards, pushing your right foot into your hands. Deep breath in and out. Creating this gentle back bend. Take one more inhale and then simply step right foot next to left. And then that fire in the left calf releases. So quite leg heavy, that little sequence. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Let's take that to the other side, feet together. Bend the knees, we brush the floor, we come back into Utkatasana, belly lifts, tailbone lengthens, reaching forwards with the hands. Spreading the fingers will help you to energize the arms. Let's take a deep breath in and release Uttanasana, forward fold, lengthening through your spine. Hands to the shins, take that halfway lift, take an inhale. And then step your left leg back once again into that lunge, making sure that leg is further enough back that you can really lengthen into your full length of your legs. Rising slowly up, high lunge. And then you can always bring that back foot in a little if you feel you went too far. That right knee is roughly over the right ankle from an alignment perspective. And knee tracks forwards rather than buckle in or out. So your lower body is really strong here. Start to hinge forwards, bring that left leg a little closer in. Cross left thigh over right thigh, bend your knees and bring your seat back. Full breath. Now the intensity of that leg is on the right-hand side. Take one more breath to lift up. Take an inhale, left knee lifts. To take left foot to hand and bring your inner knees to touch. Option once again to stay here or take a nice full breath and start to hinge forwards. Maybe you only get a little way. And then you can push foot to hand just to intensify the stretch into your left quad, your left thigh. Take one more inhale and exhale, and then we release and bring left foot to right. Pedal out. Again, take a moment, let some of that heat and strength just disperse a little bit. Heel toe your feet together. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. So hopefully you're feeling a little warmer. Let's start to flow now. Let's bend the knees and brush the floor. Take an inhale here. On your exhale, take your arms behind you, interlace your hands, tip forwards into your first shoulder stretch. If this feels way too intense for your shoulders, know that instead you could cup your elbows or forearms behind you and then take the forward fold. It's a little nicer in the shoulders. So listen to your body, my friends. Head is heavy, so gaze is back towards the thighs to encourage a lengthening all the way down the back of the neck. Keep squeezing your shoulders together, lifting your shoulders away from the floor. And let's bend the knees, gently release that clasp. Take your thumbs into a little bind to lift up. So you're creating almost butterfly hands, is what I call them, with thumbs interlinked. Take your arms way back beyond your ears, lift up the chest, and then exhale, release and dive all the way down. Hands to the shins. Take an inhale to lengthen. Bend the knees, step your right foot, step your left foot back into plank. You're welcome to take plank onto the knees. Wherever you are, take an inhale. We all gently lower the knees, the chest, the chin to the floor. Elbows clip into your ribs. Lengthen your feet back, your heart forwards. Take an inhale into cobra. And on this first one, let's come back to the floor. And so let's move through a couple of these little back bends, just to ease your body in. Of course, depending on the mobility of your spine, you might be coming much higher than me, or you might be sticking pretty low. Again, always doing something that works for you. It's your practice, your body. You want something that feels nice. This time, let's come all the way up. So take that inhale. You have to come a little bit higher to then ease yourself back into our first downward facing dog. Pedal through your feet, lengthen through your legs, lengthen through your spine. Have a look at your hands. Make sure your fingers are spread and really ground into the floor here, particularly with your thumb and your index finger, just to prevent you from rolling onto the outer edge of the wrists, which will just compromise your wrists a little bit. So we want to be strongly pressing more inner hand than outer. Keep pedaling. And then separate your feet. Again, that little softness in the knees will help you to lengthen your spine and push to get your weight back and into the legs rather than into the shoulders. When you're ready, bring the feet together. Sweep your right leg to the sky. It doesn't have to be high. So wherever you get to, take a nice deep breath in. And then step your foot. You can place it. Maybe it only comes halfway. Pick it up at the ankle and place it right in between the hands. Left knee down. Sweep. Lift your arms and brighten up through the chest. Trying to encourage a little bit of a chest lift, a back bend here. So we're just trying to open the front of the body. As for the most part in life, we shorten the front of the body and we lengthen the back body when we round over. So we're just in our yoga practice trying to work a little bit more with counterbalancing some of that stuff that we do during our day. So big heart lift. And then from here, take your left arm, turn to the left and place that left hand. Maybe it goes onto the thigh. Maybe for ease, it just supports your lower back. Sweep your right arm up to the sky and then take a look towards that left shoulder. So half twist, half back bend. And of course, you very well may feel quite a big stretch through the front of this left leg. Have a little look at your right knee. Note as soon as you lean back, you want to forget about the legs and the knee rolls in. Keep tracking your right knee forwards, lengthening through this inner right thigh. Take another inhale and exhale to windmill the hands to the floor. From here, take your right foot all the way to the back of the mat, pivot onto your left knee, and come into this baby wild thing. So I'm balancing on the shin of the left leg, right leg is out, arms up and over. You could have your left hand to a block, or it could be completely to the floor. Nice big side stretch once again. Take another inhale and exhale. And then to come out of this, just simply transition onto all fours. Take a deep breath in and ease on back, downward facing dog, let that go. Let's move through our second vinyasa. Inhale, come into plank, shoulders over wrists, belly lifts in, and your hips are higher than you think, so don't collapse into the back, nice and lifted. Deep breath in, exhale, knees, chest, chin. We take one cobra this time. Inhale, shoulders down, neck long. Exhale, downward dog. Let's move into that sequence, second side. Feet together. Sweep the left leg to the sky. And step or place it through in between the hands, knee down. Let's come back into that low lunge with your back bend. Peel up, heart lifts. Taking a moment on this side to check in that your attention is on the breath as much as you can, rather than worrying too much about the poses or what you should or shouldn't be doing. Just breathe fully, just enjoy how the pose feels. Let's take that reverse lunge. Take right hand to the thigh or sacrum. Left arm lifts, gazing all the way towards that right shoulder. And on every inhale, can you lift up through your ribs a little bit more? Two, come all the way down. Let's take that baby wild thing. It's your front leg that goes to the back. So left leg, drag it back. Pivot onto your right knee and shin and extend second side. So again, a sense of chest lift, heart lift, gaze lift. And release, we come back to all fours. Take a nice breath in, lift your seat to the sky, downward facing dog. Lengthening out. Take another breath in, just enjoying the stillness. To bend the knees. Look forwards and just step or walk your feet to the top of the mat. You can lift the hands up off the floor to help you do that if you need to. We meet together in this halfway lift. Inhale and exhale, release and fold. Again, gaze back to the thighs to lengthen through the back of the legs and the neck. Let's bend the knees, sleep all the way up. Deep breath in. Hands connect to the heart. Deep breath out. So let's move through that flow a little bit quicker, and the body will have that muscle memory of the flow. So here we go, feet completely together. Bend the knees. Take one full inhale as you lift up into Utkatasana. Take an exhale as you interlace your hands or cup your elbows and take this forward fold, gaze back to the thighs. Bend the knees, hook your thumbs. On your next inhale, lift up. And on your next exhale, dive back over the legs. Hands to the shins, shoulders onto the back. Inhale, we lengthen. Bend the knees, step straight into plank. It's your exhale. Take one breath in as you gently lower your knees, your chest, your chin to the floor. Inhale, lengthen forwards with the heart, cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Bring your feet together. Inhale, sweep your right leg to the sky. Exhale, place it in between the hands and drop the knee down. Take an inhale, lift into your crescent, and take an exhale to stay. Left hand to the back of the thigh. Take an inhale, turn and look towards the left. It's your reverse lunge. And again, take the exhale to stay where you are. Windmill the hands to the floor. Step that right foot to the back of the mat. On your next inhale, lift up and lengthen. And take another exhale to stay. Take an inhale, transition to all fours. Take an exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Move through a vinyasa. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Really grip the arms in here. Inhale, feet back, heart forwards. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's move through that sequence to the second side. Feet together. Inhaling, left leg lifts. Exhale, in between the hands, knee down. Take your time to get there. Inhale, lift up into low crescent. Exhale, we stay and breathe. Right hand behind you, lift up through the left arm and your left ribs. Inhale, reverse lunge. Exhale, stay. Good. Rewind the arms back to the floor. Step that left leg back, pivot. Left leg extends behind you, right arm to the floor. On your next inhale, lift up. On your next exhale, stay here. Inhale, transition to all fours. Exhale, transition, downward facing dog. Bend the knees to look forward. Step, walk. Again, move your hands if you're a little tighter. We meet together, hands at the shins. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. To inhale, lift up. To exhale, hands to the heart. Standing tall at the top of your mat. Taking a moment to collect yourself. To notice the shifts, how you feel in your body. Has anything energetically changed for you? Do you feel a little bit more energized through flowing? Steady the breath. And then softly open the eyes if they were closed. Just make sure you have your prop towards the front of the mat. You're going to need it on this next flow. Bring your feet completely together. Stand tall, Tadasana, mountain pose. Take a deep breath in, lift up. Take a deep breath out, melt over your legs, Uttanasana. Hands to the shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Bend your knees, step back into plank and take an exhale. Take one full inhale. Gently lower knees, chest and chin. Take an inhale into cobra. And take your exhale into downward facing dog. Bring your feet together. Sweep your right leg to the sky. It's your inhale. To step through in between the hands, it's your exhale. This time keeping the back knee off the floor. Bring your left hand to the floor, or it could be to your block. And bring your right arm to the sky. Lunge twist. And you might find that your hips want to be high, so keep dropping your hips down and lunging into that front knee. Twisting from the belly. Nice full breaths. To come down, touch down either side of that foot. Spin your back foot onto the sole of the foot and line up your front heel with your back arch. Bring right forearm to thigh. Turn your torso to the left. side angle pose. And know that you could also bring your hand to a block. It's a little harder. You're coming a little further down in that version, whereas when you're on the thigh, there's much more space for your body to twist. Deep breath in. To touch down either side of your foot, take a deep breath and then exhale, start to straighten your front leg. My back heel is lifted. It's an incredibly long pose. And know that if you can't straighten that front leg, you could grab 1 or 2 blocks and bring yourself a little higher. It'll make it a little easier. And if you have no blocks to hand, then my guidance is bring that back foot in a little bit so that you can ground onto the sole of your back foot. And this would be the version you would take instead. So listen to your body, be where you need to. And wherever you are, chances are you're feeling a pretty big opening into the back of this right leg. Option to stay here or grab your block and bring it to the inside of the right foot. Hand goes onto the block. Lift up, lengthen your heart forwards as your tailbone lengthens back. Start to rotate, twisting to the right into this version of revolved triangle. Tucking the chin a little again will help you to lengthen through the neck. If the right arm can't reach to the sky because of tight shoulders, that's okay. Bring the right hand to the waist. It's a little easier. Keep grounding and pushing into that back foot. To release, well done. Touch down, move your block out of the way. And if that back foot's slipped a little far back, bring it in. Let's take an inhale, power up through the legs, reach the arms forwards, and then exhale, let the intensity from that leg go. Smooth through that flow, second side. Left leg to lift, inhale. Exhale, step or place the foot forwards. Moving into your twist, right hand to the floor and lift up through the left arm. Notice if your breath is rushing ahead, can you put the brakes on the breath a little bit? And if it feels too much, you can always take a moment in child pose to recover your breath or bring that knee to the floor just to help bring the heart rate down if it's racing away. To touch down. Spin and flatten onto the sole of your back foot, heel to arch alignment. Lift up a little bit to enable you to bring left forearm to thigh, turn your torso to the right, reach up and over through that right arm. Pressing strongly into the outer edge of your back foot so that you're not collapsing into that back leg. So lifting up through the inner seam of the right leg. Left knee tracks forwards. Take a deep breath in. Hands touch down either side. Pivot onto the ball of the back foot to take the hamstring stretch. Remembering your option from the first side of bringing that back foot a little closer in if you need to and flatten onto the sole of the foot. Otherwise, you're here with me, lengthening through that leg. Grab your block, hand to the block, lift up a little higher. Belly pulls in, left hand to the waist. Start to rotate. So it's not just about shoving the shoulder around. You want the rotation to come from the spine. And then if it feels good, you can extend that top arm. So strong in the front leg here. Take another inhale and exhale. 2 touchdown. Block can move out of the way. Fire up your legs, fire up your belly. It's that one burst of absolute leg strength as you free the arms from the floor and shoot them either side of the ears. Take a deep breath in, hands connect to the floor, let it go. Downward facing dog. Let's move through our final vinyasa, inhaling to plank. Exhale, gently lower. Inhaling through into cobra. And take child pose on your exhale. Sweeping the arms back, forehead to the floor, let it go. So allowing the body to recover. Just getting that nice stretch all the way down the spine, into the back. To lift up. Well done. So hopefully the body's feeling good. Let's start to move into our seated section and stretch out a little bit into the hips. So come to take a cross-legged shape. Right leg is in front. And take a nice deep breath in. You can sit on a blanket if you need to, if you're tight of hips. And then exhale, fold forwards. And so this stretch I do a lot, both in the classes that I teach and in my own body. It's such a simple stretch, but it's really effective. And it's a hip stretch that most of us can get into. You still feel the stretch. You're still aware of the stretch. And know that you can start to relax now. You can soften through the eyes. Just allow the spine to round. Just enjoying getting into the outer hip of that right leg. You might feel it onto the left as well. And then gently lift up. Before we come to the other side, take your hands behind you, fingertips point to the seat. Just squeeze the shoulders back as you lift up through the chest. And then release, and let's feel that to the second side. Left leg in front. Take a deep breath in and exhale, release and fold. If you need to bring cushions underneath your knees to support your knees, you can do. It feels nice to have that support often. And you should notice body temperature is cooling now and the breath is settling, particularly if it raced ahead a little bit as you were flowing. And so you get the time and the stillness to focus on creating this incredibly deep breath that sends the signals to the brain and the body to quieten. To lift up. You're going to come back to your first side, your right side, for another hip stretch. If this one feels too much, my guidance would be to stay with a cross-legged pose. So coming back to the right, I like to use a block for this. And so this time I'm going to place the outer edge of my right foot right onto the edge of my left thigh. So it's much more intense. It's double pigeon. And I like to support the gap that for me it's created as I'm quite tight in the hips by putting either a blanket or a block or just something that feels like there's a bit of support. There's something for my thigh to try and ground into rather than just floating. up into the air. And again, that reminder, if this feels too much for you, just a simple cross-legged pose. And because this stretch is a little bit more intense, you might not lean forwards quite so much. You might want to keep the body upright and just breathe here. You're here for 5 breaths. Two more breaths. To unwind and have a feel for that onto the second side. And so it might be the second side is tighter and you might have to change what you're doing. If this is your more open side, it'll feel a little easier. So again, outer edge of that foot on this side, I like to prop up the bottom knee. And breathe. Two more breaths, inhaling. Exhale. Keep trying to relax where you feel the stretch. Inhale. Exhale. Well done. Remove any props that you're working with, and let's give the knees a moment to unfold. So extend the legs out. Once again, sit on a blanket if you need to. Move the flesh of your buttocks back and out of the way. It'll help you to tilt forwards. Take a deep breath in. Start to lengthen your spine forwards and just take a hold of wherever you get to. And try to work a long spine rather than a passive rounding. Even though there's much to be said for a passive rounding stretch, today we're going to be nice and active. So keep lengthening that heart forwards. You're trying to send your chest in between the feet. Take another inhale and exhale. To slowly come up. Come to make your way onto your back, hug your knees into your chest, and if you still have your prop, your cushion, then just keep it with you. So we're going to come into a supported bridge. So place whatever it is that you're using just underneath the sacrum so that in this shape you can relax. So once you've found comfort, feet hip distance apart, turn your palms up and just take a couple of breaths here. This very mild back bend. And this should feel really nice and restorative here. It's a very mild inversion. Just take one more breath in and out. If you have more time, of course, you can be in that pose for as long as you wish. If not, and you're coming with me, then release and let's draw the knees into the chest. Taking a spinal twist always to finish. It's such a nice way to finish. Hips to the left, both knees to the right, and open through that left arm. Deep breath in and out. To come back through to your center. Move that second side, hips to right, knees to left. Left hand holds the legs, right arm reaches to the side. To come back to center. Hug those knees in, take a little rock and roll from side to side. To come to make your way into Shavasana, your rest pose. If back is feeling delicate, please just knock the knees in together. If not, then extend your legs out. Take a moment to fidget, to wiggle, to get comfortable. And then take a deep breath in and an exhale to release. Let it go. Close down the eyes. And notice this absolute feeling of bliss that comes at the end of a yoga practice. The body feels stretched and released. The breathing is deeper. And the mind is quieter. Breath just very naturally lifting and falling in the body. Softening through your feet, your legs, softening through your hips, your belly and your back. Shoulders and arms are heavy and relaxed, as are your hands and fingers. Neck is long, face is soft. Take a few more breaths here. When you're ready, take a full breath in and exhale, sigh out of the mouth. To start to find gentle movement into your feet, into your hands. To reach arms overhead. Full body stretch, maybe zipping up the legs. And then gently draw one knee and the other knee into the chest. Swaying a little from side to side. And then gently rolling over to one side. And coming to bring yourself up to any comfortable seat. And keep your eyes closed if you can for a moment longer. Noticing all the effects of your practice now that you're up and seated. To bring the hands together at the heart center and bow the head in gratitude to your practice, to finding this time, carving out a little bit of time into your day or evening to practice today. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. Thank you so much, my friends. I hope you enjoyed. As always, if you wish to know a little bit more about what Homes for Lambeth are doing, then please go onto their website, homesforlambeth.com. www.thebrandingcoach.co.uk. Otherwise, thank you once again for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time.